hunting through a mess of folders, documents, and email attachments. Well, today I'm going to show you how to stop wasting time and start running your business smarter with one simple system. So if you're ready to finally clear up all of that digital chaos, then drop an emoji in the chat and let me know you're ready to take back control of your filing. All right, welcome to Strategy with Sally. We'll kick off as always with our theme song, and then we'll be back in 3.5 minutes while we wait for the VIPs to join us. See you in a little bit.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine. Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Hello. Welcome to Strategy with Sally, our weekly live. And I'm Sally Sparks' cousin, your tech nerd. I love me some systems and sexy numbers. And I'm here today to help simplify and streamline your filing systems. So this week, weekly Strategy with Sally is always here at 9 a.m. Tuesday, Melbourne time. And today we're tackling your digital chaos. So I know a lot of people struggle with this, and I'm always helping people find files or sitting there waiting for them to find files. But today we're all about looking into how to use a simple digital filing system. And it's really what every business owner should be using. Now, if your desktop, it looks like a junk drawer, or your Google Drive is like a black hole in the abyss, well, and you can never find anything, then you need this system. So stick with me because we're about to change the way you do business. Now, tell me in the chat, what's your current filing system like? Is it organized or is it a hot mess? Go on, pop it in the chat, organized or a hot mess. Let's be honest, right? Most of us, we're trying to sort our files as we go. And Karen says she's got semi-organized. That's good. Well done. Semi-organized as well, Deborah. Awesome. Well, we've created a scalable system that all of our team uses. And most of us, we want to save as much time as possible. And now, if you follow me, that's what I do, right? I love to help people save time. And sometimes when we're filing things or we're downloading things, we just put it in the easiest spot for now, the desktop or the downloads folder, or who's got multiple new folders or new folder 2, new folder 6, right? Anyone? Yeah? I know because I used to be exactly the same way. My desktop was packed with random screenshots, half-finished documents, and loads of mystery files that I just totally forgot that I had ever even started. Now, I once wasted a whole hour just looking for one simple Canva image that I really needed for a launch. Now, this kind of chaos isn't just annoying, it's actually costing you loads of time, energy, and even business opportunities. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that the average office worker spends almost 2 hours a day just searching for files and information? That works out to be nearly 9 hours a week. And it's more than one full-time day lost in messy digital systems. Now imagine what you could create, sell, and launch if you could get back that time every single week. So that's what today's training is so important. So how many of you lose files, or they're just got lots of loose files sitting on your desktop right now? Be honest. Drop it in the chat. Just loose files that you know you've got to sort in that downloads folder or just sitting on that desktop. So the power of having a smart filing system is once you build it the OmniWAY, our way, then everything will change. I could find anything fast, and I'm no longer wasting time digging for assets. And when I implemented this system, I felt clearer, calmer, and way more professional. And you know what the best bit is? It's like really, really simple. You don't need a fancy program or expensive tools, just a system to actually follow. So when you are no longer trapped in this digital chaos and you're using the OmniWAY filing system, I'm going to give you just 5 simple folders, but also for your email, 5 simple labels that will cover everything that you need to grow and run your business. So if you could organize your files, you can organize your business. And we're going to do some brainstorming, and you're going to be getting some GSD done today on setting this system up, because once it's done, you can use that awesome brain power of yours to spend time creating, connecting, converting, and not searching through endless files and folders. So who's ready to stop losing time and to start filing what they need instantly? Drop ready in the comments. Yes? Let's do this. All right. So let's talk about the simple structure itself. So there is only 5 major folders that you will be using. And you know me and my naming conventions. So let's go over to my little whiteboard here and let's first give you the 5 folders one at a time. So the first one we call O1 and it's called admin. Now in the admin folder, this is where we put things like contracts, and we also put things like any of your business documents. Also your licenses. We put any legal and like your insurance, any registrations. So inside of my admin folder, I then break it down into this. So let me just rub these ones out and admin. So I would have one for clients. So any contracts and things that come in for clients. The second folder in there is called finance. That's where I keep all my banking statements and where I put all my ATO, Australian taxation documents. Also in there we have a folder called legal. So anything to do with legal documentation. Also we have one called security. So this is where we keep any information for our online security systems, and then also staff. Now this is more just contracts and things like that. So our first folder is admin. Now after we go through folders, I'm going to show you how we can use this exact system also in your emails as well. So the second folder, this one, number 2, is HR or team. Now, inside of this is where we keep any team member onboarding documents, any training and resources. In there, we also keep the resumes, right, that people give us. Also, role descriptions for each of the different roles within our business. So the second folder is HR. Now, the third folder, this one is called content. And with the content folder, this is where we put in our marketing materials, our graphics, our videos, the podcast recordings, blog post material, anything that we use and generate content for. So the Straight Talk with Sally has its own folder in there. Our blog posts have its own folder. Also, our social media posts have its own folder. And then they're broken down into Facebook and Instagram and Reels and Stories. And then also, because of this awesome Ecamm software that I'm using, Ecamm has its own folder as well. So it's anything from raw videos, stock images, and any of your marketing materials that you use. Now, the fourth folder, this one is sales and marketing. Now, in the sales and marketing folder, this is where you store all your resources for funnels, lead magnets, promotions, also client proposals, pricing sheets. We also have in there all of our testimonials because we use those in our sales and marketing campaigns. Now, the way I will create the folders inside of sales and marketing is usually labeled by the promotion. So if I'm running a challenge on Canva, there'll be the Canva challenge folder. Or if I'm running one on follow-up, there'll be the fortunes in the follow-up folder. And all of the marketing materials associated with that are all then stored inside of that sales and marketing folder. Now, the fifth folder is called operations. Now, this is where all your deliverables live. So inside of our operations folder, we have one for our products. So what are we delivering? So inside of the products, there'll be the different courses. So you would label all the course. So then in there you put all the videos and the PDFs and anything for the course. And when I'm structuring my folders for the courses, I label them in order of modules. And the other thing under operations is the customers. So if we have, and a lot of our customers have done for you, so they get a special folder where they can drop in all their digital assets for you. But also we might store some video recordings or Loom videos and things that we have for our customers. And then also in the operations folder, we store all of our SOPs. So our standard operating procedures around how to file, right? That's in there. How to set up and manage emails. So all of those system documentations, also client onboarding documents and any other workflows all go into this operations folder. Now, we do have one other folder which we try not to use too often. It's actually labeled 00 and it's called Too Busy to Sort. That's more for me, to drop in video files that I don't have time to sort, and the team have to then clean out that folder. Mostly it's for my benefit, but then to delegate that job off to somebody else. So that's how we use it for our filing system. Just let me undo that. That's how we use it for our filing system. But we also use it inside of our email system. So with the emails, we use exactly the same labels. So O1 for admin, O2 for HR, O3 for content, O4 for sales and marketing, and O5 is for operations. Now, I will show you our SOP. Would you like to see our SOP that I have for our email management? All right, let me show you. Yes, all right. Let me find the right button over here and come to the SOP. Here we go. So this is the SOP that we have. Now, all of this won't be relevant to you. You will need to change some of these things, but it'll give you a really good overview of how we also use this system within our email. So the purpose of this SOP is to give a structured and efficient inbox management system using Gmail, labels, coloured stars, and clear protocols. It helps with inbox management for the team by categorising, tracking, and following up on emails efficiently while keeping the inbox clean and manageable. There's a big highlight here on the bottom of every page. When in doubt, label it, star it, and ask. A clean, well-labelled inbox makes everyone's life easier. So here's a table of contents. I'm just going to skip over that one. So here are our general rules around management of the inbox. The inbox should be checked at least 3 times a day, morning, midday, and just before end of day, to try and get that inbox to a 0 if possible. No email should sit in the inbox for more than 48 hours without action. And action means it must be labelled and starred or assigned. Every email must be labelled with at least one relevant label, using coloured star system to flag follow-up statuses, and all receipts should be forwarded to our HubDoc account, which links it to 0. But our goal inside the inbox is it should contain no more than 20 emails at any given time. So what this does is it encourages daily processing, timely action, and it also supports a really clean environment for all of the team members. So using labels and stars and archiving is how we maintain this actual benchmark. So if you're unable to keep it or decide on what to do with it, we need to flag it and ask for help, right? And we've actually just moved from Basecamp to Slack for this, where you will ask for help if you're not sure exactly what to do with that actual email. Now, within Gmail, you can use different colored stars. You can turn on all of these green, blue, purple, yellow, orange, and red stars. There's also an exclamation mark, a green tick, blue info button, and a purple question mark. So everything that requires money, so maybe there's an invoice I need to pay, like especially when the team invoices come in, or maybe there's not enough money on the credit card and a payment bounces. They all get a green star, so I know it's money related. Now, Jackie and I, we have our own personal colours. Jackie has a blue star and I have a purple star. And the yellow star is for whoever is managing the inbox. That means they're going to star it because they need to follow it up that day. Maybe they're got to go and ask a question before they know exactly what to do with that email. And then our orange star means that it really needs action, and red means it's urgent. It must be done as soon as possible. And then beyond that, important but not urgent is our exclamation mark. If, say, for example, Sarah has labeled a purple star for Sally, I've done the work, I've actioned it, and I just want her to know that it's done and ready for her to file, I'll put a green tick on it so she knows that it's been done and it's ready to be archived. Blue is just, I saw this email, check it out, have a read, it's just some information. And purple needs more clarification, the purple question mark. All right, so let's have a look at these labels again. And what we do is I'm just going to scroll down here to get to a little bit of information about inbox cleanliness. Archiving emails that have been replied to or actioned unless follow-up is required. Draft important replies, especially if they're client-facing, if they still need approval. And add any relevant tasks to Asana if they also need to be followed up. Now, we also have a spam and unsubscribing rule. If it's spam or phishing, report and delete immediately. And for newsletters and platforms, like I get one all the time, say from a plant supplier, we don't need all of the promo emails for that. So also unsubscribing and then archiving. But always check first, just in case, some of the tools and software might be really important providers that we still need to get newsletters from as well. All right, now we're moving into the actual labels. Now, the one we have at the very top has a little squiggly line. It's called a maybe. I don't know why, but maybe 2 action labels. And these ones, the reason why we use a little squiggly line is because they live then at the top because everything in the labels automatically files based on alphabetical order. So this allows us to move things out of the inbox, and then it keeps the inbox clean, but there's still things that either myself needs to action or Jackie or another staff member. So every staff member gets a little 2 action label of their own. Now here we are moving into the same filing system that I was showing you before, with O1 being admin. And again, the reason why we're using the numbers is so that they run in the right order. O1, admin, O2, HR, O3, content, O4, sales and marketing, O5, operations. Now, inside of our admin labels, we have money in and money out. So it's great come tax time. I can just go straight to money in and money out, to get all my invoices and receipts from that year. Then we would also add another label on it for the company name, and we'll get to that more when we get to 05, which is operations. Now, another label we have inside of admin is accounts receivable. So if we've got anything with failed payments, overdue payments, refunds, disputes, or for us, a request to pause their software account, that all goes in there for our accounts team to manage. Also, we have a label for the ATO and ASIC. Now, these are things like your tax lodgements, business registrations, compliance notifications. Then we have one for finance, and that's for all of our bank statements. Legal is for our contracts and compliance and NDAs, and we also have one for grants because we do apply for government grants at times as well. So that's what we put in our labels. So these are sub-labels underneath the main label. Now moving on to the second one, HR and team. The following sub-labels we have under there is training and development. So that's if myself or my team go and do or register for any trainings, courses, workshops, or certifications. Then we have another label called job applications. That's where we file all of our resumes, our candidate interviews, and shortlist applications. And then we have one called employee records. So that's if we have the contractor invoices, onboarding, performance reviews, offboarding. Now we also under employee records, we have a single name for each of our staff members so that when they send us an invoice, for example, if they're a contractor, we would label it with money out and then also add the label of the staff member as well. And then the final label we have inside of HR is team updates. So if any email broadcasts go out or when the meeting minutes are typed up, from Monday, it gets sent out to the team and they all get filed under team updates. Then moving into our content label. Under our content label, we have the following sub-labels: drafts and approvals. So these are emails that may have come in from one of our designers and they need us to approve something. Social media, these are if we get posts coming for schedules or graphics or videos or captions or analytics that are going to be used for social media. Podcast. So this is where we keep all of our applications for everybody because we get them all the time. Can we be on your podcast or can Sally be on our podcast? Right, they all go in there. Any published content. So when our automation playbook, which goes out every Tuesday, that email hits our inbox, we file it in there because it's published content that we've put out. Or if we've published a blog post and there's been an email go out for that. Or today you may have got an email to tell you about Strategy with Sally's on today. That would go in to published content. And then content requests are internal requests for marketing materials, PR opportunities, and so forth. So they're all the things that we put in under content. Now, the next one is sales and marketing. Now, this may look a little different for each of you in the way in which you will file it. But we just use S&M for sales and marketing shortened because we don't want our labels to be really long or you won't be able to read them all. At the very top, we have, which is called prep for call, because if you have a business in a box, you will get an email 15 minutes before a call with a link to fill in a form to say how the call went and to keep notes on the customer's record. So we file all of those together at the very top in prep for call as a label. Then we have an appointments label. And under the appointments label, we have a variety of sub-labels: new appointment, appointment confirmations, reschedules, reminders, cancels, and follow-ups. So it's really 3 labels deep, because it will go O for S&M, appointments, and then either new, confirmation, rescheduled, reminder, cancelled, or follow-up. Then the other things that we have underneath sales and marketing is organizations as a label. And then we add sub-labels for the names of the different organizations. So, for example, we're a member of a few of the Chamber of Commerce groups. We're in business groups. Some people might be in BNI, things like that. Then we have a label called events and conferences. And again, we add sub-labels under that. So if we are going to go to a conference or to an event, and if we do it, it's usually a marketing opportunity, right, to meet new people and get new leads. But that will be event registrations, speaker opportunities, networking, sponsorship deals, and even if you're going to, be a sponsor with an exhibit at an event as well. The other label we use is leads and prospects. So if we get a brand new lead coming in with an inquiry or an outreach or a potential contact, for example, we may have met somebody at one of those events and then they've emailed us to say, great, lovely meeting you at the event. They've now become a lead and a prospect. The other label we use is campaigns and promotions. And again, with that, we add sub-labels underneath that. So if we were running the Canva challenge or the Fortunes in the Follow-Up challenge or whatever we run for our marketing campaigns, they would all go under there. And then the final one that we have is affiliates and joint ventures. So these are people that we may have agreements with regarding commissions or maybe collaborations or maybe some partnership deals or sponsorship deals. And again, under affiliates and JVs, we create sub-labels with the name of that affiliate or JV. So for example, I am a Canva certified creative. So we have a Canva label under there, right? And you all know that I used to sell Kajabi and Keep and any of the softwares that I was a partner with would also go under there. And they run lots of trainings and things on being an affiliate or a partner. Now, moving on to the big one, which is operations. Now, ours is going to be a little bit different to yours, but if I was to go back to the Sparkle Class Academy, I had 1 or 2 major labels. One called customers and the second one called vendors. And then under the customers, I would have them broken down into what type of customer. Were they a done for you, a done with you, or a DIY? Now, because we're a software company, one of our products is the software itself. So we have SaaS, which is SaaS, and under SaaS, we have things like a new SaaS client, a SaaS issue, a cancellation or pause, update, or integrations. Also, tickets are under there. So they're when people ask questions. I need to update that because that is now in Slack. Then also you could have an affiliates label as well under there if they're actually now helping with the bottom line. Now, our customers, as I said, back in the Sparkle Day, I used to have DIY, done with you, and done for you. It's very similar, but we've now got SaaS only. We have the name, which is the elite members, which is the done with you, and then our done for you. And we also have, I am always looking at naming convention. So if we use the word user, we mean SaaS. If we use the word member, we mean it's our mentoring program, our Done With You Elite program. And if we use the word clients, we're referring to done for you. And customers is everyone that falls under that umbrella. Then on the final label, it's suppliers and vendors. Now, under that, we have sub-labels, and that is every piece of software that we use, any company that we are aligned with. So we've got Apple developer, Google developer, then we've got Google Workspace, Canva, so many. I should have my email open to have a look. But every single email that comes in from any supplier or vendor, that means physical suppliers of products and digital supplier of digital products as well. So this is how we file everything. And because Gmail is fully searchable, we don't make sub-labels for the name of the customers because it's just easy to search for them using their email address. Now, we've got a few rules for our inbox regarding unsubscribing and spam management. So if an email is not relevant to the business, unsubscribe immediately. If unsure, check with a team member or just move unsubscribed emails unsubscribed emails to spam or archive immediately. So best practice for this is unsubscribe from promotional newsletters that are not useful. Keep important industry updates that may be useful content, marketing, or for sales. And if an email looks suspicious or contains unexpected links, move it to spam instead. Now, if you think something is spam or phishing, do not click the link. Oh, geez, I've got some stories of some family members who clicked the link and lost thousands of dollars. Oh, my goodness. Do not reply to the sender. Move to spam immediately and report it as well. Now, examples of what spam and phishing emails are if they're asking for you to click a button and log in. If they're urgent, we get these all the time, urgent, your Facebook account is about to be closed. Right? Unsolicited invoices or something that might look too good to be true. I always say check the email address, right? Because usually it's some kind of weird looking email address as well. Now, finally, the final notes here for inbox management is use labels and colored stars consistently. Never leave emails unlabeled in the inbox. You can actually set up filters to automatically label. I just do them when I remember, and over time, they'll all just start, most of them being automatically labeled for you. Follow up on delayed actions within 24 to 48 hours. I don't want to see an email sitting in the inbox for 7 days, unless there's a really good reason for that. And then always unsubscribe and report any spam or phishing. And then our final note is when in doubt, label it, star it, and ask. A clean, clear inbox, fast action, better service, and a calm brain. So that is our SOP for the inbox. And I can give you a little look. Let me just check over here. I'm just going to bring it back. But I can show you here inside of our inbox. So you can see each of these are labeled O1 admin, O2 HR, O3 content. And then if I go into admin, you will see that all our folders are labeled in here as well. Now, only the founders have access to the admin drive and anybody who is in charge of accounts. Then human resources, again, that's admin only. Content, sales and marketing and operations is the entire team. And that's how we do. And if I even head over to the Sparkle Class Academy, you'll see the same system there as well, right? Admin, team, content, sales and marketing, and operations. And of course, too busy to organize. That's just for me. So there we go. That is our filing system and how we keep things super organized. And let me show you the example inside of our email, making sure there's nothing too important in here. Yep, that should be fine. So here you'll see on the left-hand side, we have the same thing. Admin, right? If I zoom in there for you, you can see admin, HR, content, sales and marketing, and operations. Now, under to action, you'll see each of the staff members' names. So we get those labels on it. Then under admin, again, there is the money in, money out. But see how it matches the folders. Grants, ATO, finance, and legal. And then under HR, we've got training and development, job applications, team updates, and staff. And then inside of staff is the name of each of the staff members in there as well. Then under content, that's divided into drafts, social media, podcasts, published content, and content requests. And then under sales and marketing, you can see we have appointments, reviews, organisations, events, leads and prospects, campaigns and promotions, and affiliates and JVs. Again, these match what's in the folders as well. And then finally, operations, you'll see we have SaaS management and we keep our ticket responses up the top because that's questions we need to resolve. But then we've got our affiliates, our customers, and the vendors. And under there, I'm not going to open them for privacy reasons. It will have the different categories that customers are in. And then every vendor that we've ever purchased something from is all in there as well. So if, for example, we were labeling an invoice, I would give it money out label, and I would also give it the name of the vendor label as well, so that when I go in at the tax time, I can sort them all as well by vendor as well as all invoices paid out. So there we go. So your GSD task is to go in and create these labels inside of your email inbox and also inside of your filing system in your Google Drive, wherever it is. Create these 5 folders or labels using the OmniSAM filing system. And then start moving your mess into the right places. Even if you just move 10 files, start. Now, I then, if you've got way too many, just go back a year and archive, because you can search for your files later and just archive them. I mean, you don't have to go back that far. But I always try to, when I help people set up their inbox for the first time, is I try to go in and create the labels straight away for them so that they're doing it right from the start. So today you've learned how simple filing can be with 5 major files. Well, 6 with that, too busy to sort. But you've got to have a team member to have a too busy to sort who is actually going to do the sorting. Otherwise, you should just do it right. But it's going to take all that chaos and simplify and give you that clarity with how filing and using it correctly, how it will work. And you'll end up with a clean digital space and a clear mind. And I can tell you that really is where the magic happens. Now, if you're enjoying all of these systems that I've been teaching, then next week we're also going to show the systems around global headers and footers and how you can make them to save time when you're creating websites and funnels and all of those front-facing landing pages. And if you are an elite and you would like a copy of that SOP, so it's a starting guide for writing your own, just email us at support@OmniSAM, and I'm happy to share our SOP with you as a starting guide that you can then take and add your own sparkle to it for your business. Now, if you're listening to this, make sure you go to the show notes and join our online community. In there, we're always sharing additional resources and updates that come and to also let you know of all the different live events that we're running as well. Now, before we head off, I'm going to come across to the room. Who would like to share a key takeaway? Raise your hand and feel free to also ask any questions related to this topic. I can see Deborah. Why don't you come on up? I see you already have a topic in there. I'm going to find you where you are. There you are. Deborah, come on up.
Hey,
Hi.
I was wondering if you also do the same in your personal email
Yes,
inbox.
I sure do. Yes. Yeah. I keep it consistent across everything. So I've got more than one business. So Jackie and I also
Yes.
have the recruiting. We use exactly the same system in the MJA recruiting business. I have a personal inbox, we've got a marketing inbox, and we've got a support inbox. Again, all of those have the same labels as well.
So in personal, you wouldn't have the same categories.
No, but they're still labeled under
Yes.
HR or admin, HR, content, sales and marketing, and operations. But then you would still, under operations, because people email my personal inbox who are customers, right?
Yeah.
I still get emails to my inbox from vendors and suppliers, right? I still get my own newsletter hitting my inbox, which is content. So I still use the same system. It just creates consistency across everywhere. And then also it's easy to train your team once they come on board. And I know a new team member in MJA will be watching this today because I had a meeting with her last night. And I said, you need to watch today because you need to understand why and how we file things for MJA.
Well, I've got a ton of personal labels. So I've learned today that I have to cut back on the number of labels I have.
Yeah.
Because I've just got far too many.
That's it. Simple, simple, simple. That's like the tagging system that we taught last week. There wasn't a lot of different types of tags, but there is a reason for each as well to keep it simple. Otherwise, you end up with death by labels, death by tags, death by folders of the many. Who else would like to come up? Veronica, come on up. Oh, I've got to find you here in my little window of people. Where is she hiding? Veronica. There she is. Hey, Veronica, I saw a question pop up. What's your question?
Yeah.
Hey.
So with the archive icon, sometimes it's got a slash across it, and I just wondered, sometimes it's there, sometimes it isn't.
Okay.
Why would it have a slash?
It depends where you're actually looking at the email in regards to that archive icon. So if you're at the top of the inbox, let me just go into an email, you'll see the archive, which is let me just scroll up here and share screen. So you'll see this one here that says archive on it. I'm inside of the email, which means that if I hit this, it will just remove the inbox label. So what happens is when it first comes into your inbox, it always gets the inbox label. Once you hit this, it just removes the inbox. So you've got to make sure that you are adding your labels before you hit archive. If it's already been archived, well, you can't archive it. Then it would be moved back to inbox, right? So that's where if I was to archive this, it's gone now, I'd have to go find it. But then it'll have a line through which will be moved back to inbox. So what it's really doing is it's just adding that label back on and pulling it into the inbox.
Is there a difference? Why would you, if you don't want it, why don't you just delete it instead of?
Well, if you don't want it, you can delete it, but I just keep everything because I don't keep everything. Things that I'll delete are OTOs. So, if you get a one-time password or, enter 6 numbers, not worth keeping those. I just delete them. If it's spam, I report, block, and delete. If it's newsletters, I'll usually just attach the vendor label and then I will archive, because some of those newsletters I might use for funnel hacking later or looking for good copy or inspiration. So a lot of the newsletters that I keep are generally because I'm keeping them for inspiration when I'm looking at writing emails for the company. But other newsletters, like, for example, I have Happy Plants that I get emails from because I love, sending people plants. I don't need the newsletters, but I still want to get the discount codes and stuff like that come in. So I'll delete the newsletters if they're not relevant or useful. So that was one of the rules. Remember, if it's not relevant or useful, we can just get rid of it. So it's not that I'm not deleting. It's just I keep anything that is still relevant or useful. All right. Any other questions at all? What was your key takeaway from today, Veronica?
I've just got to keep on top of it. The morning, afternoon, and evening.
And if you
thing.
do it daily, honestly, it takes like 10 minutes, unless you've got to follow something up. But yesterday, because we'd had the long weekend and days off, I had a few hundred in each inbox, and I went through and just did it myself. And it took me 2.5 hours, where if I had done them for 10 minutes each day during the break, it wouldn't have taken me 2.5 hours to get through all the emails.
I think my issue is that I action them as I go through, and so therefore I go down rabbit holes of, like, it could be watch this webinar kind of thing.
All right, so do this,
which is my education.
So do this instead. Clean your inbox and flag for later. Don't go back until the inbox is clean. Once the inbox is clean and you've labeled, right, a little star, yellow star, I'll go back to that later. Then go to your start items and then go down the rabbit hole of fun. But clean that inbox. Like, our goal is no more than 20 in the inbox at any given time. When you wake up in the morning, of course, there's more. But if you're also using the filter, so what can happen is a lot of them will come in. You can create a filter based off an email address, for example, automatically add the label, then you just archive straight away if it's nothing that you need to read. So it saves you even going into it sometimes. And so for appointments, for example, it'll be appointment confirmation, like the words in the subject line are always the same. So I'll filter based off that. So when an appointment confirmation comes in, it's already got the label on it as well. So then I'm like, yeah, cool, archive. I don't need to worry about doing anything with those, and I can get through those a bit faster. But it takes time to be able to add all those filters. Don't sit there and try to do all of them. Just, once a week, add a few more that, aren't automatically being labeled. Rachel, come on up. Let me find your face over here. There she is. Rachel.
Hey, Sally.
Hey.
Yeah, I was just wondering if, just based on your experience, I've been using Dropbox forever.
Yep.
And it's probably pretty organized, but based on your experience using Gmail as the platform, or is there any benefits?
Personal preference. I know Amy Porterfield actually uses both. She uses both Gmail or Google Drive and Dropbox. So the reason she uses Google Drive is for all of your documents, because you know how easy it is to work in the same Google Doc and the same Excel spreadsheet or the Google Sheet, and multiple team members can all be in there at the same time. But then what she puts over in Dropbox is finalized graphics, ebooks, things that she's sharing to people. She pops into the Dropbox instead. So completed shareable content is what she puts over there. Now, the way I prefer to do it is, say you update a PDF and you go and re-upload that PDF and the link changes, right, to the shared drive. Don't just update it. Actually right-click and go down to Manage File, Manage Versions, and update the version of the document, and the link stays the same. So, for example, say I made an update to this PDF, then I've got to find, I'd put it in a custom value. So then I'd only have to go to the custom value and change it in one place within OmniSAM. But that's the best way. If you're ever changing an image or a graphic that you've shared the link out there, right-click on the file, go down to Manage Versions, and then you upload the new version. And it will keep the old versions, I think, for 60 or 90 days, or you can delete them straight away. Cool.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very
All right.
Thanks.
No problems. We've got a few more in here, but we'll go dark now for our Q&A time. So for all the elites that are out there and the done-for-yous, come on in now. It's time to head on into the VOZ. We're going to do Q&A. I'm here to answer your questions until all questions are done. And that's it. That's our strategy with Sally today. If you would like to get a trial for OmniSAM, we have a 14-day free trial. Just head to omnisam.com.au and grab yourself one of those. And if you are on the replay and you've made it to the end, make sure you put replay below so I can always come back and say hi to you if you're on that replay. Now, don't miss out on next week's strategy with Sally, where we're going to dive into smart global headers and global footers so you can make your websites and your funnels smarter, faster, and more profitable. So join us next week for building smarter websites, the power of global headers and footers. So save that time next week, Tuesday, 9 a.m, and I hope to see you there. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Never let anyone dull your sparkle, and make sure you get at least one income-producing activity done each and every day. Bye for now.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art.